Good evening everyone, today is a recap video of the NGS headline, but before we jump into all of that, if you're new to the channel, I upload NGS content daily, so if you do play this game, I would really appreciate a subscribe as it really helps out the channel. Anyway, without further ado, let's begin the video. So the very first thing I want to go over is, of course, Retem Alnothe. This was in my predictions. This is my #1 prediction that we were getting a new high rank sector of Retem Alnothe, and that is true. And the best part is it kicks in tomorrow. Right after the maintenance ends tomorrow, this will be live on the servers, so we can immediately go to the new high rank sector in Retem Alnothe and start farming seasonal points, EXP, Meseta, as well as a chance of getting a Tisha weapon. However, that's not all. There are also limited time tasks that are tied to Retem Alnothe, so make sure that you knock them out. The next thing I want to go over are 2 AC scratches that they did not show in the trailer of the NGS headline. They showed it in a slide over here. As you can see, there is the remix line of November 2023. Personally, I would not scratch on this at all. The reason for this is because all of the outfits available in the remix line are variations of outfits that were previously available through the refined form SG scratch. So you're wasting AC to get SG outfits. Sure, there are variations, like the colors might be a little bit different, but you know, you could just use a color change pass and change the colors that way and save yourself a little bit of AC. However, something that you can't get by is going to be the AC support item select, of course, so if you do want any of the XD capsules, you do have a chance of obtaining them again. However, if you are a free-to-play player, you might want to keep your eyes peeled on the player market because, you know, there's going to be a surge in supply of these XD capsules, so the prices will naturally go down. The next thing I want to go over are the giant mutants as well as high-level dread enemies are now being introduced into North Retem as well as South Retem. But keep in mind that this doesn't kick in until November 8th, so that means that we do have to wait an additional week before we can actually farm these enemies. Personally, the only reason why I'm going to be farming these giant mutants is simply for the limited time daily task and weekly task. Because remember, in order to get one of our end master cubes, we actually need to do 150 daily tasks. And by having those additional daily tasks to hunt down all of these giant mutants is definitely going to help you complete this limited time task a little bit quicker so that you can guarantee your end master cube. Now, of course, Sega is trying to drown us in AC scratch tickets, so here is another AC scratch, the Elemental Defender. There are some pretty interesting outfits over here that I personally think look pretty dang good. However, again, it is an AC scratch. It does require real money, or you're at the mercy of the player market in order to purchase these as a free-to-play. Now, something that caught me totally off guard is the new urgent quest Omen of the Planet Breaker. So we currently have the 4-man version of the Sign of the Planet Breaker. It's a very high difficult end game piece of content. However, it's being trickled down to a regular urgent quest where everything is going to be more simplified. The boss is going to deal less damage. It's going to be a lot easier. It's going to be a lot more forgiving, and you're going to be able to run Omen of the Planet Breaker with 8 players instead of the regular 4. So that is really nice. However, the thing that really surprised me is we are getting 10-star rarity weapons this month. Yes, so November 15 is when the Omen of the Planet Breaker releases, and it will have the chance of dropping 10-star rarity weapons by completing this. It's called the Flugelguard weapon series, and the unique thing about this 10-star rarity weapon is after using a photon blast, it gives a buff to everyone. It's kind of like a Shifta D-band type of buff where you gain more damage and everyone just gets stronger. So it's really cool because whoever has this weapon is able to buff everyone around them, and you can actually buff each other multiple times. It's not like a one-time thing. So let's say that you use your photon blast and you pick up a blast assign that lets you use another photon blast, then it'll rebuff everyone again. So that's really nice to see. Now, does it stack? I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see when someone gets it, and then we can test whether it stacks or not. Now, do keep in mind that the 10-star rarity weapons are not exclusive to the Omen of the Planet Breaker urgent quest. It can also drop in mining rig defense. They really want us to be doing mining rig defense Retem. So yeah, they put the weapon there and they're like, hey guys, you want your 10-star rarity weapon, you better run mining rig defense. Personally, I am not going to be running mining rig defense. I refuse to do that. I'm going to be running Omen of the Planet Breaker, and you can also run Sign of the Planet Breaker to get the chance of getting these 10-star rarity weapons. Now, before you start spamming them today, they don't drop until November 15, all right? So you do have to wait until November 15 before you can actually get these weapons to drop because they're currently not in the game yet. Now, another thing that really surprised me was the new limited time quest that is coming out on November 15th is Special Training Green Hill Sprint 2. So remember the Sonic collaboration where we had the limited time quest where we just raced around, we picked up the coins, the Chaos Emeralds, and then we killed a bunch of baddies at the very end. It's essentially the same thing. They're doing a little twist, so there are different enemies and stuff like that, and the Chaos Emeralds are going to spawn in different locations, but more or less it's the same map. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to this because I think a lot of people really enjoyed this limited time quest. Personally, I really liked it as well. Now, another thing they added to this limited time quest is new fixes. So this really surprised me as well. They've added 2 new fixes, or at least they showed 2 different fixes. The first one was increase your photon blast gauge faster. So basically you're able to PB more often. And then the second one was actually really interesting where it gives you potency up. So it's a little bit like fix the attack. However, on top of that, it's also giving you potency to weak point. So that is when you hit the enemies in the weak point and you see the blue numbers. So I'm actually pretty interested in this because as a braver, you're constantly looking for the weak points. I mean, technically, I think every class is kind of hitting the weak points. So this might become the new best in slot. We are going to need to do the math behind it and actually like break things down. However, that fix in particular does have potential. Next up is the new SG Scratch Refined Form November 2023. So this is for my free-to-play players over here. Yeah, there's a lot of really cool looking outfits and cool stuff being introduced over here. There is the Gorilla Time emote. I know for a fact Alex West is going to troll me with this, with his gorilla mask and everything. But you know, I'm looking forward to it. It's a really cool emote, so I can't complain. And the featured outfits look really badass as well. Next up is, of course, the Mission Pass Season 26. So Season 26 does kick in on November 15, and thank goodness they finally introduced the mags again. I don't know why Season 25 did not have a mag form device. I just don't know. I think Sega just forgot about it or something. But nevertheless, Season 26, we are getting mag form devices again, and it is a Autumn Empress camo, which looks freaking amazing. I definitely like it a lot, so I'm looking forward to it. Now, moving on to the second half of November, we are finally getting a boss that's going to be spawning on that floating island above Makid. So it is actually going to be the starless Halvaldi Vera, which is one of the Dual Quest bosses actually. I believe it is on Dual Quest 2. And yeah, you gotta fight him. Apparently he's going to be harder than the Dual Quest boss as well. But the interesting thing about this boss is he does have a chance of dropping the 10-star rarity weapons, but it's a very low chance. It's lower than even just farming Darkfall Solace or mining Rig Defense. So if you want to farm this guy, you probably shouldn't go in with the expectation of farming for a 10-star. However, he drops a new 9-star rarity weapon called the Melik Weapon series, and they literally look exactly the same as the Relic series. So they just replaced the R with an M, so instead of Relic, it's Melik. And yeah, it's really interesting. They recolored it a little bit, but it's a new 9-star rarity weapon that looks exactly the same as the Relic series. It also has 4 different potentials, just like the Relic series. I wouldn't even be surprised if all of the weapon potentials were exactly the same as the Relic series. And yeah, I mean, interesting, I suppose. I just find it really weird that they're introducing a new 10-star rarity weapon, and then they're like, oh yeah, there's also a new 9-star rarity weapon. I'm guessing that this new 9-star rarity weapon is going to be the go-to for the majority of players, because by farming this boss over here, you do get dread scales, and also if you defeat level 80 or higher dread enemies, you can also earn these dread scales, and you can exchange these dread scales for a guaranteed 9-star rarity Melik weapon. So that is pretty nice, basically guaranteeing that if you farm this type of content, you will get a new 9-star rarity weapon regardless, because you just keep farming the dread scales, and that will let you exchange for the new Melik weapons. But is it going to be better than the 10-star rarity weapons? I highly doubt it. I still think the 10-star rarity weapons is going to be the best in slot. However, as we all know, the drop rate for those 10-star rarity weapons are probably going to be the same as the Tisha weapons when they first were announced. So maybe like 2 people on the server might have it in the first month or 2. So don't keep your hopes up for the 10-star rarity weapons. I would definitely recommend people to just go for the Melik weapons instead. Even though they are 9-star rarity weapons, they're going to be better than what we currently have, hopefully, fingers crossed. But this is cool, I guess. I'm definitely going to be farming here because I like the idea of farming dread enemies, and then once you kill enough dread enemies, this big bad boss spawns and you go up to the little island and you fight him over there. So that does sound pretty fun. Next up is another AC scratch. I swear this is like the 6th AC scratch I've talked about right now, and it is the Frame Arms style. So this is the collaboration with Frame Arms Girl. It does look pretty nice, I'm not gonna lie. There are some really nice weapon camos. The bikinis, they all look pretty good, but it's just not really my cup of tea. I looked at the weapon camos. I think like the scythe, like the partisan ones, look pretty badass. Most of the weapon camos do look pretty awesome. I didn't see a katana one, unfortunately, but I'm not even mad about it because these weapon camos do look pretty awesome. Then moving on to the end of the month on November 29th, we are getting another limited time quest where it is Drill Cave Cleanup Operation, and this is Defend Truckcoon. It's just we're in Lower McKeed, and it's a 12-player limited time quest. Whereas Truckcoon, it's broken down, and we gotta defend it against hordes of enemies. Relatively straightforward, relatively easy. Now another AC scratch that they're introducing on November 29th is the Accessory Collection November 2023, and of course, the balloon bosoms are in this scratch. So if you want the big boobas, just scratch here, okay? You'll get your big boobas and be happy. However, other than that, they are also reintroducing the SG Support Item Select November 2023, where again we can get all of our Fixa guaranteed stuff. However, they're also introducing a new item in this scratch called the Preset Skill Enhanced Substitute. So when you wanted to upgrade a Fixa before or add a Fixa, you needed 2 copies of the same weapon series. However, with the Preset Skill Enhanced Substitute, this will substitute for a weapon. So let's say that you're lucky enough to get the 10-star rarity weapon, but you want to put a Fixa on it. Well, you're going to be able to use this Preset Skill Enhanced Substitute as a substitute of another 10-star rarity weapon in order to gamble for a Fixa on your new 10-star rarity weapon. So that is pretty cool, but do keep in mind that this item is specifically a scratch count bonus, so it does require you to scratch, I don't know, probably like 40, 60, 80, maybe 100 times in order to get this item. So it is a guaranteed, so there's no RNG involved in it, but you are gonna need to spend a substantial amount of star gems in order to bag this item. Next up are some questions asked in the operation report, and usually I skip over these because usually the questions are pretty dumb, but this one is actually pretty good, and it's about the Alliance mag boost going down every single day. So a lot of people complain about that, and they are changing it, so now it only goes down 1 level every single week. So this is really nice, and this is implemented starting from tomorrow. So this is a really, really nice change. I'm glad they're finally doing this. My mailbox is literally exploded with people upgrading the mag every single day. I get 5 new mail every day, and it's, yeah, my mailbox is just ruined. I've just got like hundreds of mail now. Another question Hero picked was, the season type augments on seasonal weapons are difficult to replace with other augments after the seasonal event ends. Can you please do something about this? And I'm glad they addressed this. So the season type augments are really good during seasonal events because they're only affecting seasonal enemies. So in the future, they're going to be introducing new season type augments which work on regular monsters as well. So what I'm assuming is going to happen is, oh, this works for all seasonal enemies in the beginning. Once the season ends and goes away, then it transforms into a different type of augment where it's like, oh, this augment works against all mobs in Retem or all mobs in Alio, so forth and so on. They're probably going to change it to something similar or something along those lines. So your season augments are still going to be viable even after the season ends. So that is pretty nice. And the big question over here was, do you plan to release any new fields or the like in the future? Because a lot of people are like, listen, we're stuck on planet Alpha, this sucks. Phantasy Star is all about going to space, going to other planets. When the hell do we leave planet Alpha? And yes, they are working on a new field. They didn't specify a new planet, but they did say that they are working on a new field that is vastly different from all of the previous fields that were released. So that does give us a little bit of hope. However, they say that it's going to take time, and if we follow Sega's timeline on it's going to take quote-unquote time, that probably means it's going to be out in like a year or maybe 2. So yeah, just be patient. It's going to take a while, but nevertheless, they are working on something, so that is pretty good to hear. So all of the Doom posters and the naysayers saying that the game is gonna die and the devs don't care. Sorry to prove you guys wrong, but I'm pretty sure the devs do care if they're working on a new planet. Alright guys? Next up is of course the Gear Up Your Class Special Campaign Part 3. It's the same old stuff as usual, but this time there's 4 classes. So there's the Braver, the Bouncer, the Waker, as well as the Slayer. So just level all of them up to level 60 and you get all these rewards, and you kill 1,500 enemies on each class, and then you get all of your 20% boosters. So just do it, it's free stuff. They give you the weapons as well, the Hextra series, fully augmented and enhanced, so it's pretty easy to do. Next up is the Item Enhanced Support campaign, as well as the Rare Drop Rate plus 100% campaign. This is also kicking in tomorrow or right after maintenance, so this is freaking awesome because now we can farm Arms Refiners 2, Golden Prim Swords 2, Golden Prim Armors 2, as well as regular Arms Refiners in Vanford Laboratory rank 5, Mount Magnus rank 5, Rezel Forest rank 4, Deck Space rank 1, Newsom Plant rank 1. So this is amazing. We can finally farm different places for Arms Refiners 2, because it was such a pain in the butt to get Arms Refiners 2 because we were forced to farm a freaking Newsom Plant. Now I can farm in other places. So yay, I'm pretty happy about that. And on top of that, we also get this 100% rare drop rate boost. So your Golden Prim Sword 2, your Golden Prim Armors 2 are going to drop a little bit more frequently. And I do recommend people to stock up on these, especially once the new gear starts dropping, you know, the 10-star rarity weapons, the new 9-star rarity weapons. People are gonna need a lot of Golden Prim Swords to upgrade and enhance all of that stuff. The next thing they talk about are the new NGS official C badge build parts. So if you are a official NGS creator such as myself, you're gonna get a special build part that you can now put in your alliance quarters or your personal quarters or whatever. So that is pretty cool. I'm probably just gonna put one and make it as big as freaking possible just to troll everyone, and then put like the big Among Us sus guy on top of it or something, or maybe put the badge on top of the sus guy. Probably yeah, you know, that's kind of my sense of humor, my sense of troll. So yeah, it's pretty nice that the NGS creators are getting something extra. Next up is of course the Arcs Cash Super Sale. They really want you to spend money, first with like 7 kajillion AC scratches, and now with the Black Friday Arcs Cash Super Sale. Yeah, basically huge discounts over here. So if you are planning to top up any money or spend any money on the game, it might be a good time to look into it. Just keep in mind that this doesn't start until the 22nd of November, so don't top up yet. You might want to wait until the 22nd and then top up then, because then you can benefit from all of these fancy sales. And last but not least, the collaboration that is coming in next month is gonna be Black Lagoon. I mean, Black Lagoon is pretty badass, I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty cool, so I'm not like super bummed out about it, but I still kind of wish we had, like, you know, Bleach, Jujutsu Kaisen, Demon Slayer, stuff like that. But Black Lagoon is pretty awesome as well. So I'm definitely looking forward to this collaboration, and I definitely would like to see what weapon camos as well as skins they implement into its collaboration scratch. So yeah, overall I think this is a W.
Special thanks to all the members for supporting the channel. It really means a lot to me. Thank you again.
But yeah, that's all I wanted to cover in today's video. Hopefully you guys found it helpful. If you did, I would appreciate a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye.